Through my disappointments, strife and discontentment, I cast my every care upon the Lord. No matter what obsession, pain or deep depression, I'm standing on the solid rock. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storms that rages, but not from slave's wages. I'm standing on the solid rock. Even though he's gone now, I don't feel alone now. With comfort came the Spirit of the Lord. Oh, with His word to guide me, from temptations hide me, I'm standing on the solid rock. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storms that rages, but not from Satan's wages. I'm standing on the solid rock. Now I'm pressing onward, each step leads me homeward. I'm trusting in my Savior and I day. And close is our relation, firm is its foundation. So on the solid rock I'll stay. I'm standing on the rock of ages, safe from all the storms that rages, but not from Satan's wages. I'm standing on the solid rock.
Jim Poulin was researching a book about a family secret when he recalled memories of a grandmother and her life confined to bed with rheumatoid arthritis. Some of us could relate. One of the memories of Christmas Eve was back in the 1950s, and the result was the story that he wrote for the Reader's Digest in 2003. Jim has his wife here of 55 years, and they have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Jim is still a journalist and has written many books, so we'd like to welcome Jim. He's going to tell us his story. You can use any way you like.
Well, we all have many Christmas memories, but certainly this is one of my favorites. Fresh fallen snow protested beneath the crush of my gumboots, breaking trails down the unplowed lane. Dry, sharp squeaks, not unlike the cries of cheap chalk scraped against too clean a blackboard. Skreek, skreek, skreek. My boots ignored the sounds. They moved on, ribbed rubber bottoms and laced high leather tops, creating a meandering wake in the ankle-deep snow. To each side of the trail, drifted snow leaned tiredly against the backsides of the bungalows, dropped there to rest by an impatient blizzard just passed through. Our family had driven to Christmas Eve midnight mass, but I walked home alone, visiting friends on the way back. It was 1:30 a.m., and faint strains of music joined the squeaking of my boots as I approached our back fence. I stopped to hear the music more clearly, now identifiable as singing, voices escaping through an open window. I shuffled forward and listened to the notes float out crisply and clearly, then mingled with the smoke rising from the chimneys. Notes and smoke rose together into an icy sky, which was illuminated by frost crystals set shimmering by thousands of stars, and the frosty moon the Chippewa called Minnedogesis, the little spirit moon of early winter. I held my breath to hear better and determined that the music was the carol O Holy Night, and that the notes came from the window in my grandmother's room. It was open to the cold because most people smoked cigarettes back in those days, and at gatherings they cracked a window to clear the air. They sang the first verse, and when they reached the sixth line, the other voices ceased, and only one voice carried on. Fall on your knees, O hear the angel voices, O night divine. That's the part where the notes rise higher and higher until the singer reaches an awesome pitch. The solo voice belonged to my grandmother, Louise LaFrance, and I knew she hit that high note while sitting on the edge of the bed that was her prison. She was crippled with limb-twisting rheumatoid arthritis and suffered searing pain and the humiliation of being bedridden. It was a humiliation that included needing a bedpan to relieve herself and having her son-in-law lift her into the bathtub. The others stopped singing to listen to her. Each time she hit the high notes at the words, O night divine, a shiver danced across my spine. When she finished singing O Holy Night, the other voices started up again, this time with Silent Night and other favorite carols. I went into the house and found Christmas Eve celebrants, my mother, dad, and some neighbors, crowded into a 10 by 10 foot bedroom that was my grandmother's world. They sang long into the night, mostly in French because the neighbors were the Gautiers, who seldom spoke English to my grandmother and my mother. The crippling arthritis had attacked my grandmother not long after my birth 16 years earlier. It advanced quickly, twisting her fingers like crustals, then deforming her ankles and knees. You could see the pain in her eyes, and from my bedroom door, I could hear her moaning in restless sleep, sometimes calling out for relief. She took up smoking to ease the pain, and late into the night I would hear her stir. Then I would listen for the scrape of a wooden match against the side of a box of Redbird matches. Then the acrid odor of sulfur drifted into my room, followed by the sweetness of the smoke from a sweet Capital cigarette. Sometimes I would get up and go to her door and see the red tip of the cigarette glow brightly as she inhaled, and I would go in and we would talk in the smoky darkness. Mostly the talk was about growing up and sorting through the conflicts between a teenager and his parents. My grandmother never complained or questioned why she had to bear the pain, and despite her frailty, she was a leader in our house. We brought our problems to her. When we hurt, we ran to her, and she draped twisted arms around us and absorbed our pain because she believed it was better for her to have it than us. After the singing ended that night, my mother served torchère, which I of course slathered with mustard. Then we gathered at the tree and opened our gifts. I've long forgotten what I got that Christmas, and it doesn't really matter. My real gift came many years later and was an understanding of how that frail and twisted body came to produce such powerful and sweet notes. My gift was the realization that those high notes were not solely the products of the lungs. They were produced by something stronger than the flesh, an unbreakable spirit. They came from strength far beyond anything a mere body can produce. They came from the will to overcome.